The Beatles were arguably the most successful act of the 20th century. They began in the late 50s with band members John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr. Early band names were the Quarrymen, Johnny and the Moondogs, and the Silver Beatles. Later on, they simply became known as the Beatles. Their managers suggested they wear suits and ties, classic shoes, and newer haircuts. In September of 1962, the Beatles recorded their first hit, Love Me Do, which reached the top of the U.S. singles chart. They had their best-selling hit, I Want to Hold Your Hand, in 1963. Their sensational U.S. tour began with 3 TV shows at the Ed Sullivan Theater in New York in February of 1964. After that, the Beatles endured several years of extremely intensive recording, filming, and touring. They stopped public performances in 1967, but continued their recording contracts. By 1985, the Beatles had sold over 1 billion records. After the death of John and George in 1980 and 2001, Ringo and Paul got tired of the whole Beatles idea and decided to auction off all the rights to the band on eBay in 2011. Arizona native Darren Eyring had just become a bishop of the Dana Ward and was looking for a catchy look for the new Bishopric. He bid on, and surprisingly won the eBay auction. Naturally, he changed the name of the band to The Bishopric, since that's what Brother Brenton called them on the talent show flyer. Early members of the Bishopric argued over whether they should model themselves after the earlier, younger Beatles or the older, hairier, uglier Beatles. It wasn't until late 2015, with band members Eyring, David Biggs, Olin Reynolds, and Dustin Red, that they started having what they deemed as success. Some attribute this success to the fact that Red looked so much like Ringo Starr. Others thought it was the fact that they both had double letters at the end of their last names. None of that really mattered, because within the next few weeks, it became terribly clear that The Bishopric was just not as good as the original Fab Four. Most of them had to go back to work at their normal jobs, wearing their outfits as a form of cheap, ineffective advertising. Before long, the only playing they did was at state fairs in Antarctica. Of course, that didn't pay the bills, so in early 2016, Eyring decided to try and sell the band on Craigslist. Lucky for everyone present tonight, nobody bought it. So they are here to perform one last time, at no charge to them or to you. Brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up for the Bishopric!